this is Whiskey. Welcome to Palm Tree Elegy again. This poem today is by Edgar Albert Guest. We're going to see a lot of him again too. I love this poem. This one is called Courage. Courage isn't a brilliant dash, a daring deed in a moment's flash. It isn't an instantaneous thing, born of despair with a sudden spring. It isn't a creature of flickering hope, or a final tug at a slippery rope. But it's something deep in the soul of man that is working always to serve some plan. Courage isn't the last resort in the work of life or the game of sport. It isn't a thing that a man can call at some future time when he's apt to fall. If he hasn't it now, he will have it not, when the strain is great and the pace is hot. For who would strive for a distant goal must always have courage within his soul. Courage isn't a dazzling light that flashes and passes away from sight. It is a slow, unwavering, ingrained trait, with the patience to work and the strength to wait. It is part of a man when his skies are blue. It is part of him when he has work to do. The brave man never is freed of it. He has it when there is no need of it. Courage was never designed for show. It isn't a thing that can come or go. It's written in victory and defeat, and every trial a man may meet. It's part of his hours, his days, and his years, back of his smiles and behind his tears. Courage is more than a daring deed. It's the breath of life and a strong man's creed. Nowadays, I think we see things as a society, some things are so superficial, and I think sometimes we miss the point. So when somebody does something and it seems like they're stepping out of themselves and they're so inspirational and so courageous, and we want to just fawn over people that have done extraordinary things, I think we sometimes think that they just conjured it up and it's just, it's this great thing or this great feat that they've suddenly realized. But if you look back at patterns and you look back at people, those people, when you really know their backstories, they do it all the time. And it's not because they're so great that they have so much courage or so much inspiration. It's really a reflection of what we think we're not. If you really look at it, as a society, we have a habit of looking at other people and putting them on these pedestals that, they're my hero. Look at these great things they've done. Look at all these wonderful things. And the poem even says, if they didn't have it yesterday, they're not going to have it today. If they don't have it when bad things aren't happening, they're not going to have it when bad things are happening. It's not this amazing thing that popped up all of a sudden. Every human has courage. Every human can be inspirational. It's what we feel, and what we think about ourselves and how we push through things. If we tell ourselves, oh, I'm not courageous like that person, or we tell ourselves, oh, I wish I was as courageous as you, we hold ourselves back. We have these limiting beliefs that tell us that we can't get through these things, that we can't fight our battles the way other people fight their battles. And it's really just so not true. I think what happens to a lot of people, and people have called me courageous and inspirational and all those things, and I can see where they see that, but I'm going to get real with you here. It's not a matter of I'm courageous or inspirational. It's I understand that if I put my boots on and I sludge through the bullshit, there's freedom on the other side of that. I understand that it's things that are going to be really hard and things that really suck and things that I don't really want to do. I know that if I face those things head on and I keep pushing through and I keep going, even if it's a little bitty step at a time and it takes me years to do it, if I make those little bitty steps and I just keep doing those small steps consistently, I will get there. It's not courage. We call it courage, But it's just an understanding to know that if you just keep going and you keep pushing and you have the perseverance and you don't let those lies and those voices in our heads tell us and talk us out of things, and really people who get through traumatic experiences, people are like, oh, you're so courageous, you got through that. Okay, please tell me if there was a different choice. Was there a different choice? Right? The only other choice to that would be failure. Failure could even lead to death. The only other choice you have is to fail at living. And when you decide not to fail at living and you decide that those things are not going to stop you and they're not going to hold you back and you're going to learn from them and keep going, then that's truly living. And people who, I was going to say it one way that it wasn't going to sound right, but don't necessarily look at what people are as they're the hero and they're courageous, but let's look at ourselves and see what courageous thing, how can I have courage and what little step I can do in my life to go where I've never gone before. What can I do to change the steps and change the course of the path that I'm on, or get out of the situation I'm in now, or get into a situation that I want to be in, right? So please, everybody has courage. Everybody does. It's just a fact of whether we act on it or not. So your life question today is, what can you do to act on your own courage? What can you do to activate your courage so that can bring you into living your true, authentic selves and be the badass that you are? I'll see you on the next one. Keep on rocking.